Let's have a complete breakdown. Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in for another Let's Have a Complete Breakdown. I realize that some of you are not music theory aficionados, so moving forward I want to kind of open it up a bit. Let's maybe talk about something else that isn't so heady and weird and mathy. I want to talk about what these songs are about, where they came from, the instrumentation, production, things like that, stuff that I haven't really dug into as much before, and I want to lean into the questions that you guys on the Patreon ask more than anything. So to kick this off, I want to talk about what We is actually about. Also, let's get it out of the way. I'm missing a tooth. I didn't get punched in the face recently, there was no fight. I'm just blessed. So when I wrote this, was actually about a relationship that was just cyclical in nature. It's the same one that All Right was about. Whereas All Right was kind of talking about how we kept coming back to each other. I was still stuck in this cycle, where We is more of an acceptance that this is never going to work. It's just never going to work out. A lot of the song I wanted to be a beginning to end kind of feel. I wanted to kind of dance through this whole relationship kind of moving from the beginning to the end, whereas at the end it's this crazy 7/8 nonsensical thing that still has this rhythm to it, but it's coming to an end very quickly. And that was my goal, really, to have this whole story kind of told. And it's a little bit groovier, it's more upbeat than All Right, because, you know, looking back on things like this, it's a lot easier to feel positive about it ending than when you're actually in it. So let's start with the production. For the opening of this, I knew I wanted it to be really centered around the bass. This bass line is really groovy, and I wanted it to have something really rock solid to hold on to. So the song starts really simple, just with this nice grooving bass line. Each part kind of slowly comes in, and I knew I wanted it to be really minimal, really tight. I wanted that nice Rhodes electric piano sound. I didn't want it to be too big. I wanted everything to be in a small place, which is why, like, you know, it's not something I do frequently, but this falsetto, or not exactly falsetto, but head voice vocal, this really soft, airy thing is what I wanted. So these lyrics, you know, loving and caring. I cannot be swayed into sharing. I cannot be made into something I could never be. You know, it's talking about the beginning of this relationship, how it's really not. I wasn't convinced that it was going to be a real thing, and it was passing this whole time. Kind of leaning into this belief this is just never going to work out. And even with that, it was still fun. So it grooves into this chorus, doing something that I like to do a lot, which is taking a kind of negative or sad topic and putting it over this upbeat groove. Because, you know, I think a lot of the time you get thrown into these things that even though you know it's bad, you have such a good time while it's happening until it's, you know, to the point where no one's having a good time anymore. So now we're in the chorus. I wanted this big, soaring, reverb-filled thing, you know? To kind of emulate the fun that you can have with the wrong person. You know, even though it's not the right fit, it's still something you're kind of like lost in the sauce, tossed in this like almost magical thing, even though it's wrong, you know? It's this sweet spot in a bad relationship where everything seems like it'll be okay. The second verse is more about an acceptance of this whole thing, and I wanted it to be a little more playful and open, and to feel less like the kind of hiatus coyote, quiet, tight thing, and more of the Latin band. I wanted to lean into that. Switch the electric piano over to a bright, upright piano, really bring out the drum groove and let it kind of hit harder. I just wanted these two halves of the song to be very different, and then we could fly into that last chorus and really feel it even harder when we swing that. Now finally, for this end of the song, a lot of people ask about this part. It was written in 7/8. The trumpets are sort of feeling it in 6/4. The saxophone is sort of feeling it in 4. So let's talk about these lines right here. This was written this way to be as insane and hard to follow as possible, while still ideally being groovy. And I wanted it to be something that was just obviously insane, but still felt kind of good. But, you know, it's over. It's time for this to end. So I think that we did a good job of getting that together in these parts that I wrote. Maybe it's not groovy to everybody, but I like it. So there you have it for the production, kind of the instrumentation, the reasons why. There's a lot of things I like about the song. The production is definitely a big part of it. I was really happy with how this turned out on the album. So the song is in the key of E major 7, and this whole thing kind of grooves between E major 7 and D major 7. It's a little modal, but it doesn't go too crazy. It's mostly just playing off of that major 7 scale degree. So this is all really complicated, right? I've noticed in these past videos, a lot of you really don't understand the theory. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna play this entire thing for you. I'm gonna write out on the screen everything that I'm doing. And if you're interested, you can just skip all this talking. You can check it out and hopefully understand it. As well, our sheet music is available at www.manchild.band. Link below. Check it out. Sheet music is awesome. Be sure to stay till the end of the video if you want to see me talk about this. If not, here you go. There we go. So as much as I love to hear myself talk, I think that's a little bit better. And hopefully all of you guys will enjoy that. Maybe you'll go buy the sheet music and dig in a little more. But you know, I'm not Adam Neely. So thank you all for watching. Thank you especially to all the Patreon viewers and you guys supporting me and helping me out, making videos like this possible with all this new stuff that I've got to do things a little bit better. Feel free, please, to check out the Patreon. There's all kinds of stuff on there. We've got sheet music and batches coming every month, demos, voice memos, original songs, all kinds of stuff. Lots of people on there. It's where it's at. Alright, so you stayed till the end. Let's dig into this chorus. So most of the chorus is pretty straightforward. You know, we've got the A major groove going to the F sharp minor groove, and then we have the C sharp minor groove. But what the fuck happens here? So here's the easiest way to explain this. The first time we go through that, we have the notes C, E flat, G flat, and A flat. This is actually an A flat dominant 7 chord over C. Not that crazy. It's putting a dominant chord over the third. All good and fine. So what happens in the second time? Notice the difference. That A flat has now become a G. So what notes does this give us? That gives us C, E flat, E, G flat, and G. So what is this? Well, this is being pulled straight from a half-whole diminished scale, which is C, D flat, E flat, E, G flat, G, A, D flat, and C. Moving a half step, then a whole step, half step, then a whole step. And from that, the thing that fits here the best is a C fully diminished chord, which is C, E flat, G flat, and A. and then that goes into a very similar shape, changing the C to a B dominant 7. So that's my explanation of what's happening here. For any of you guys that are interested, I hope that kind of fills you in, gives you what you were hoping for. There you go. So thank you again. I will be doing these videos at least once a month and trying to get them better and better each time. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.